Well, let's bring in the power panel. Charlie Hurt is a Fox News contributor and a Washington Times opinion editor. David Carlucci is a former Democratic New York State Senator. Good morning to you, gentlemen. Thanks for joining us. Charlie, is this
Good morning, Jillian.
Good morning. Is this a stroke of political genius by Ron DeSantis here, or a sort of base case of political retribution? And does it matter for the effects on Floridians?
I think it's very smart on the part of Governor DeSantis, largely because this is a problem that not of his making, but the one that was brought to him. And the original bill that caused all of this was a very basic bill. It has majority support among both Democrats and Republicans, and that is that you're not going to push some weirdly sexualized agenda for kindergartners in school classrooms. And of course, to have Disney come in and try to lobby against such a common sense bill that's supported by Democrats and Republicans, it's like a fat, slow ball right across the plate for a guy like Ron DeSantis. The real thing here that I think is so interesting is that it really does define the new differences between today's Democrat Party and Republican Party. No longer is the Republican Party the party of corporations. You have a Republican governor and a Republican legislature who have stood up to one of the richest, the most powerful corporation in Florida and said, butt out, mind your own business, and took away some serious tax breaks for that company. That's a huge difference. Yeah. The other thing that is kind of astonishing here is to watch Democrats step in and become the party of huge corporations. That's astounding, and I think a lot of their voters are going to be disgusted to see that.
David, here is the rub. We have now been exposed to this new revelation that in some districts, taxpayers in Florida are now going to be subject to as much as $2,000 more per year in their tax bill. I mean, that's going to cost Ron DeSantis something politically, is it not?
It's going to cost the governor a lot. Look, this is a perfect example of shoot first, ask questions later. You saw from the debate, a little bit of debate that was happening on the House and the Senate floor in Florida, where they were trying to ask questions to say, what does this really mean? Ultimately, this is just about bullying. This is no more than a tactic that we would see from a dictator to say, hey, mind your own business. And if you're going to question me, we're going to retaliate. And that's simply what this is. If it was about the merits, if it was about, hey, this special taxing district is a problem for Florida, that's one thing. But now we're hearing from the local community. I saw a report from the Orange County tax collector that's saying they'd have no idea where they're going to get this money. And even if they raised property taxes on households in Orange County, they still wouldn't have enough money to cover the bill. So this is going to be a complete folly for DeSantis and Florida Republicans.
Charlie, to your point a moment ago about this role reversal with Democrats and Republicans in big business, if we rewind this story a second, I think it's probably fair to say that it's a surprise to some Americans. It was certainly a surprise to me to learn that corporations like Disney are so large and so powerful in states that they are literally operating their own fiefdoms where they set up their own rules. They are sort of not subject to state laws. I mean, it's a little shocking.
It really is shocking, although this is kind of what happens when you have politicians in bed with powerful corporations. And by the way, I don't doubt that there will be real problems here in those counties that have to pick up the slack here. But I think that, and which I would argue just underscores the higher principled nature of the decision to do this. Yeah, I'm sure there will be some pain for a lot of people. But, these are pretty important issues. And, of course, and let's not forget that it was Disney that decided to wade into a very basic issue that they had no business wading into in the first place. And they touched the hot stove and they got burned.
Well, look, David, they weighed in because this is a problem. Don't Say Gay bill is a problem. When you really look at the legislation.
Is it a Don't Say Gay bill or is it a parental rights bill, which is what the author calls it?
Right. Well, we're all calling it "Don't Say Gay" bill, so we can all stick on the same bill. If we actually look at it,
Democrats are calling it the "Don't Say Gay" bill.
Never says anything about "Don't Say Gay."
Sign a waiver to allow a child to get mental health treatment. I mean, this is a problem, and just for Disney weighing in,
But David, where is Disney? Quick question here: Where is Disney's prerogative here? What gives Disney the prerogative to have an opinion at all?
They can have an opinion, and they should have an
public
opinion.
schooling.
We shouldn't silence a company or anyone doing business because they fear retaliation. If it's about policy, that's one thing. But this is void of policy. This is solely about scoring political points. And we need to all see through that. You look at the debate on this dissolution of the special taxing district, and people have no idea what's going to happen. This is a real problem, and it's only about politics.
All right, guys, we got to leave it there. We could keep going with this until the end of the show, but we can't because my EP would kill me. But thanks so much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Julian.
All right, well, Elon Musk is upping the ante as he continues to pursue his hostile takeover of Twitter, plus this.
He's not really interested in battling disinformation. Instead, he wants all of you to be far left-wing, New Green Deal Democratic socialists like him.
Critics of former President Obama are calling him out. Just yesterday, he tore into big tech over disinformation. We're going to get into it with Fox News radio host Mr. Jimmy Fallon. There he is, coming up next.